Okay, so picture this, you're about to hit send on a payment. Let's be honest, one that's way overdue.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe you're tapping that confirm order button for something, you definitely don't need but really, really want.
Yeah.
In both scenarios, there's that tiny flicker of doubt.
Yeah.
Like, what if the app crashes? What if your money just vanishes into the digital ether?
Right.
That, my friend, is the exact fear software testing is designed to quell.
It's true.
And today's deep dive takes us on a wild ride through the evolution of software testing from the days of, like, manual code combing to the rise of AI-powered automation.
And it's a journey full of some, like, really surprising twists and turns.
I bet.
Yeah. We'll uncover not just, like, how testing has changed, but why those changes have been so crucial. Not just for the tech itself, but for all of us who, let's face it, rely on it every single day.
Every single day.
Yeah.
So to kick things off, let's talk about those early days.
Okay.
It's easy to imagine software testing now with all these sophisticated tools.
Okay.
But how did it all begin? Paint us a picture of the, like, OG bug hunters.
Okay, so imagine a world where every line of code was like a potential landmine.
Oh.
And it was up to these like really dedicated individuals to carefully navigate through it all manually.
Wow.
Yeah, these early testers were like detectives, like meticulously examining every nook and cranny of an application, looking for any glitches or any unexpected behavior.
Wow, that sounds incredibly meticulous, almost like searching for a needle in a haystack, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just as crucial as finding those bugs was understanding why they were there in the first place.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Was it a simple typo in the code? Was it a logical error? These pioneers had to be incredibly detail-oriented and have a really deep understanding of the software development process itself.
So they weren't just like clicking buttons and hoping for the best.
No.
This required a deep understanding of the code itself.
Exactly. They had to think like both a developer and a user, anticipating how someone might interact with the software and what could potentially go wrong. And remember, this was a time when software was still in its relative infancy, so there wasn't a playbook to follow, no established best practices.
Right.
They were truly forging a new path.
Wow, that's incredible. So if we use a real-world example, say that banking app we talked about earlier, what would manual testing have looked like in that scenario?
Okay, so imagine a tester hunched over their keyboard, ready to put this banking app through its paces.
Okay.
They'd start by meticulously going through every possible user action.
Okay.
They try making deposits with different amounts, withdrawing money, transferring funds between accounts, maybe even trying to pay a bill or two.
Okay, I can see how that would be absolutely essential, especially for something as critical as a banking app.
Right.
But I'm also starting to get a sense of how this manual approach, while important, might have had its limitations.
You're right on the money there.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the time it takes, although that's a significant factor.
Yeah.
The real challenge comes with the human element. We're all prone to errors, especially when doing these kinds of repetitive tasks. Imagine you're that tester, right? Spending hours each day, inputting transactions,
Right.
and then having to double check everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a recipe for fatigue and inevitably mistakes.
Yeah, a missed decimal point in banking is slightly more terrifying than, say, a typo in a grocery list.
Exactly. The stakes are high and the margin for error is razor thin.
Right.
So while manual testing was crucial in those early days, as software became more complex and the demand for faster releases grew,
Right.
it became clear a new approach was needed.
Enter stage-left automation.
Exactly.
But before we get into that, can you give us a little context?
Okay.
What was it about, like, the tech world that was changing at the time that made, like, speed and efficiency so critical?
It was kind of a perfect storm, really.
Yeah.
The internet was exploding, personal computers were becoming like ubiquitous,
Yeah.
and software was no longer this like niche thing for tech wizards,
Yeah.
It was everywhere. Right.
And people wanted it. They needed it yesterday.
Right. Like, why wait a week for an update when you can just have it now? It's like instant gratification nation.
Exactly. And this new pace of life fueled the rise of Agile and DevOps.
Correct.
These software development methodologies that prioritized rapid cycles, constant updates, and crucially continuous testing.
Right.
Manual testing with its inherent limitations just couldn't keep up.
So the stage is set for automation to kind of swoop in and save the day.
Right.
But how did that actually work in practice? What were the like game-changing innovations that made that possible?
So think about it like this. Instead of having humans perform the same repetitive tasks over and over again,
Right.
What if you could write instructions for a computer to do it?
Okay.
That's essentially what automated testing tools allowed developers to do.
So these tools became like the conductors of an orchestra,
Okay.
coordinating all the different tests
Yeah.
and making sure everything ran smoothly. That's a great analogy. And just like an orchestra needs different instruments to create a symphony,
Yeah.
automated testing relies on a variety of tools, each with its own strengths.
Okay.
So you've got Selenium for testing web applications,
Okay.
Appium for mobile apps,
Okay.
Jonit for Java code,
Yeah.
and there's a whole ecosystem of others.
Okay, so those are some of the big names.
Yeah.
But for those of us who don't speak code,
Yeah.
what do those tools actually do?
Okay, so imagine you're testing that social media app we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
It needs to work seamlessly across different devices,
Right.
different operating systems, different screen sizes, you name it.
Yeah.
Automated testing tools can simulate all those user actions like posting an update,
Right.
sending a message,
Yeah.
like a photo.
Right.
But at a scale and speed no human could ever match.
So instead of having a team of testers manually going through the same actions on like different phones and browsers, these tools can do it all like simultaneously, almost instantaneously.
Precisely. And because these tests are run by these pre-written scripts, they're incredibly accurate and consistent.
So?
They can identify even the smallest discrepancies. And
Yeah.
because they're integrated into the development process itself,
Yeah.
those bugs can be caught and fixed much earlier, which saves time and money in the long run.
It's like having a team of like tireless, hyper-focused robot testers working around the clock.
Yeah.
So given all those advantages, does that mean manual testing is dead? Are those meticulous code detectives out of a job?
Well, it's not really an either situation.
Okay.
Think of it more like a partnership.
Okay.
While automated testing excels at those repetitive, time-consuming tasks, manual testing still plays a really vital role, especially when it comes to things that require human intuition and judgment.
So it's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
But before we delve into this testing dynamic duo,
Sure.
I'm curious, what aspects of software can you just not automate? Where does that human touch really shine through? Well, you've got me thinking about those areas where, like, human intuition is key.
Sure.
Things like user experience
Right.
or how intuitive an app feels to use.
You hit the nail on the head. You can't program a computer to understand aesthetics,
Right.
or what feels natural to a user, right? That's where manual testing comes in.
Yeah.
It's evaluating the look and feel of an app, how easy it is to navigate, how intuitive the design is.
Right.
These are all subjective experiences that really require that human perspective.
Yeah, it's like that saying you only get one chance to make a first impression.
Right.
And no matter how bug-free your code is,
Yeah.
like if the app is clunky or confusing, users are going to bail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why manual and automated testing really need to work together.
Yeah.
It's about leveraging the strengths of both to create, a really robust and really high-quality product.
It's a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the future.
Okay.
We've already touched upon AI a little bit. What other trends are shaping the future of software testing?
Well, one that's really gaining traction is this concept of shift-left testing.
Okay.
And it's basically about integrating testing earlier and more frequently throughout the entire development process.
So instead of waiting until an app is fully built to start testing, you're essentially testing as you go,
Exactly.
catching those bugs early on before they like multiply and wreak havoc.
Precisely. It's like preventative healthcare for software.
Okay.
And this is where AI plays a crucial role again.
Okay.
With AI-powered tools, developers can get almost instant feedback on their code,
Right.
identifying these potential issues as they're writing it, which makes this whole shift-left approach even more powerful.
It's like having an AI-powered spell checker for code,
Right.
catching those typos and syntax errors before they become like major headaches.
Exactly.
I could use that back in my coding class days.
And along with AI, cloud-based testing is also changing the game. It allows companies to run tests across this vast array of devices and platforms and geographic locations, all without needing to invest in expensive physical infrastructure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
In a world where everyone's using different devices and operating
Yeah.
systems, you need to make sure your software can handle the diversity.
Absolutely. And cloud-based testing provides that flexibility and scalability to do just that.
So the future of software testing is AI-powered, cloud-based,
Mhm.
and happening at warp speed.
It's definitely an exciting time to be in the world of software development.
I bet.
But even with all these advancements, one thing remains clear.
Okay.
Human expertise is more crucial than ever.
So it's not about replacing humans with robots,
Right.
but rather about finding ways for like humans and technology to work together, each playing to their strengths.
Exactly. And as software becomes more complex and more integral to our lives, the need for these skilled testers, both manual and automated, who can understand both the technical intricacies and the human element of software, that need is only going to grow.
Well, from bug hunters to code commanders.
It's quite a journey.
It really is.
Mm.
This has been an incredible journey through the ever-evolving world of software testing.
It's always changing.
It's amazing to see how far we've come
Yeah.
and exciting to imagine where we'll go next.
And that's really the beauty of it, you know?
Yeah.
The quest for better, more reliable software is this ongoing journey,
Right.
one that will continue to shape the technology we use and ultimately the world we live in.
And on that note, we'll leave you with a thought to ponder. As software continues to evolve at this breakneck pace,
Yeah.
what new innovations will emerge in the realm of software testing?
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into this fascinating world of technology.